Like my focus personally as a fitness coach is helping women get stronger and healthier. I'm not necessarily a fat loss coach. I'm not necessarily just like a muscle building coach. I want to help women get stronger and healthier because that spills into the rest of their life in all areas of their life. I've experienced it. So many of my female clients have experienced it. When you start to work out and you start to take care of yourself, your mental health gets better. You're more confident. You're stronger in your day to day activities, grocery, putting boxes away, picking up furniture. You don't have to rely on a man to like help you out with those things. And you feel so empowered.
Welcome to Kula, the community for South Asian health. Kula is a Sanskrit word for community, which is what this podcast is all about, bringing together a community of the leading South Asian health experts to talk all things health, fitness, and nutrition. Poor dietary habits and lack of exercise in our community are leading to increased rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and cancer, a negative trend that requires radical change. I'm your host, Krish Nandkeshwar, a health and fitness enthusiast, competitor, and coach motivated to educate and inspire the South Asian community to live healthier and combat disease. I interviewed the top South Asian health experts, including doctors, athletes, fitness coaches, and nutritionists, to share their expertise and educate us all on how we can live healthier that is unique to our South Asian identities. Thank you all for listening, and welcome to all the new listeners. So far, we have received very positive feedback, and I'm really excited to share the future episodes with you all. If you like what you hear, please like, subscribe, share, and spread the word. On today's episode, I interviewed Dilpreet Bhattal, aka D Little Tank. She's an online fitness coach, former athlete, and former competitor on Canada's Ultimate Challenge. We dive deep on what it's like to be a South Asian woman in the fitness industry, what her journey was to get to where she was today, and what her recommendations are on how to live a healthy lifestyle day in, day out. I think this one's going to resonate with a lot of the women out there, so I'm super excited to share with you this interview. Let's get going. All right, welcome back to the pod, guys. I'm super excited to have Dilpreet Bhattal on, aka D Little Tank, one of my good friends in the fitness industry. I actually met her a couple years ago in LA when she was visiting, but she's based out of Toronto, Canada, and honestly is a beast. She is one of the fittest Indians and just women in general that you'll ever meet. And she's also extremely knowledgeable in the fitness industry. So I'm extremely excited to bring her on today. She is not only a former F45 instructor and now current Barry's bootcamp instructor, but she's an online fitness trainer. A badass business is what she's building out there in Toronto, and remote. Everything that you'd want out of a fitness trainer. She knows it. And she's actually been on Canada's Ultimate Challenge. And honestly, if you watch this girl do some of her stuff on her Instagram, D Little Tank, you can follow her YouTube. You'll be very impressed in what she's doing. So she's even a podcaster as well with For Health's Sake. So guys, give a warm welcome and be super excited to have Dilpreet on today. Dil, how are you doing?
Great. Thank you for that intro. I always get awkward when people compliment me. I don't know. Like for some reason I can't take compliments. Like I'm just thanks. So I appreciate that. Just a normal girl trying to live my day to day.
Yeah, and so you're based in Toronto right now, but where are you originally from?
I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, one of the coldest places in Canada. So central Canada. A lot of people don't know about it, but even though it's super cold, there's not a lot of things to do. It has a great community, and people are amazing. People are so nice. So I know Canadians get made fun of for being nice, but I think it's a cool thing.
Yeah, Winterpeg, right? As they say.
Yes, Winterpeg. Minus 50. Winterpeg.
Yeah, I don't even
Celsius.
know how that's possible. I mean, I'm from California. I've never been in 0 degrees Celsius. I don't even think it's been like minus 30 for me. So I can't even Fahrenheit, by the way. So I don't know how you do it. Yeah, let's get going on this one. So tell me your story, like your South Asian background, and you have a very unique story where you've decided to build a whole online fitness business focusing on health and fitness. Now, I'm sure growing up, your parents might have told you, hey, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be an engineer, or if they didn't, but it's very common in the Indian culture to do that. And so, what was it like growing up and focusing on this? Like, what was your athletic career like, and how did you choose this path?
So growing up, I was actually very fortunate. My dad put me in sports. He always wanted me to play sports. He used to play state soccer in Punjab, India, and I think he also played in Maharashtra. So he literally put a soccer ball like in my lap when I was a baby. He was trying to manifest like, okay, my daughter's going to be an athlete. So I'm very fortunate in that sense that I was able to play sports since I was a little kid. I played soccer, badminton, track and field. Track and field was definitely like one of my favorite sports. I was competitive in it in high school. I was quite shy in middle school. I think I started to evolve in high school because my teachers, saw me in the gym and they're like, you should try out for track and field. I'm like, okay, sure. I think that's where my confidence started to build as well. And I will have to thank my parents. The confidence that I have today as a South Asian woman is because they encourage me to get into sports, leadership, teamwork, all of that, and face adversity in those times.
Were you legit at sports, or would you say you're average, exceptional, or would you put yourself?
I was very competitive. I'm going to say that. Very competitive. I did have some moments in high school where I really kicked some ass in some of the races. So in high school, I remember a couple people were sitting there and they're like, who do you think's going to win this 200-meter race? And I overheard, I'm like, yo, now they're betting, they're putting money, and then there's more people betting. So I was like, okay, I need to win this. And I won that race. And it was probably the fastest time like I've ran in the 200. I think it was like 26 seconds or something. And then my coach was like, why don't you run like that in provincial meets? I'm like, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I was super competitive. Even in university, when we played co-ed soccer, like going head to head with guys, I had no problem ever. And even in high school, lunchtime, you'd find me in the gym and I'd be playing all the co-ed sports.
Love it. Do you still play stuff now, or just mainly in the gym?
Mainly just the gym now. I do miss playing soccer. That's one sport. I played up until second year university. Super fun, super competitive. But now life just gets so busy, trying to run the business, working at Barry's, trying to find time for social life, and then trying to find time for downtime. Eventually, if I don't get injured, I would like to get back into soccer. Maybe next year, just like something that's like once a week, just to have a little different taste of cardio because I do miss that for cardio.
Yeah, I bet. I think playing sports is continuously, especially as we age, is something we need to continue to do. Unfortunately, most people, oh, my back, or start getting hurt and they can't really play. But if you can find intramural, any club stuff, it's a great way to keep things active, for sure. Now, let's talk about this business. So you had this whole sports background, and it, introduced you to the idea of health and fitness. What did that look like when you were starting? What were the challenges you had, and where are you now with that?
So in university, I did my exercise science degree. First, I did my Bachelor of Kin, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just go back and finish my exercise science. I was a personal trainer since, oh my God, it's been probably 13 years or something now. So a long, long time in the fitness world. I was just training on the side to make some money, and I was serving as well. I was a, um, lounge waitress, and was trying to figure out my life. I applied for physiotherapy, occupational therapy, but my heart was never ever into it. I was doing it because I was thinking, this is a job, this is a salary job. I just have to do this for my parents. This is what we're supposed to do. But my heart was never, ever into it. Thankfully, my parents never pressured me to be a doctor or anything. My dad at one point was like, oh, maybe you should be a teacher. He's just like, you're good with teaching kids things, like it's flexible. My parents have always wanted me to have a life. That's why they told me not to be a doctor. My dad's like, I'd rather you have time for yourself, for like your fun, for your health. So I never got pressured in that sense. So that was quite fortunate. And eventually, working through personal training, I thought, why not make this a full-time gig? I'm like, I love helping people with their health, getting stronger, especially women. So I slowly like started weeding through like gyms, working there. And then I worked for another fitness company. And then around COVID time, I'm like, you know what? Things are now shut down. I should probably start ramping up this like online business. And actually, thanks to you, you connected me to Linus, and that's the platform that I'm connected with, like the fitness tech company. I have a key account manager that I work with, and now all my business is on an app that's only accessible for clients. So that's where we do nutrition programming, we do training programming. It's all on an app. Clients communicate through the app with me, and we track their weekly progress there as well. And it's given me the freedom and flexibility to work with clients from around the world, which is super cool. I have clients from the UK, I've had clients from India, I've had clients from Singapore, America, Canada. So it's pretty cool. I'm very fortunate. So thank you, Krish, for introducing me to Linus. It's made my life a little bit easier.
No, it's all your hard work and your respect that people have for you. I've seen you come up through the Instagram and all the knowledge that you have. So I just connected you with somebody, and that you took it from there. So all respect to you. Now, specifically with your clients, like, is there a certain demographic you work with? Do you like working with certain demographics more than others? Mainly women, or sprinkling some men there? Like, what does that look like?
Most of my clients are women, but I do have male clients as well. I Right now I maybe have like 8 to 10 male clients, so it's not like I don't work with them. They do really well with me too. I think at the end of the day, as long as they respect me and they have belief in, as a female who's going to guide them through this journey, which I really really appreciate from them, and they've been so wonderful to work with. I have a lot of South Asian clients. A huge basis of my clients is South Asian,
Yes,
which makes me so happy. So when I get these inquiries, my leads, and I speak to them, I see the name, I'm like, wow, there are so many South Asian women and men that are reaching out for my help. And mostly because they say, you're one of us. If you can do it, why can't we do it? You've been leading the
exactly.
path, and we also want to get healthier. We want to get stronger. So yeah, I do work with everyone. I'll never, say no to anyone, but it makes me happy that a lot of South Asian people have that belief in me and they want to work with me.
Yeah, for sure. Love to hear that. Now, let's talk about that. So, when you're working specific with South Asian, I mean, this is my whole focus here is really to educate and inspire the South Asian community to be more focused and prioritize health and fitness. And that's why you're here and bringing it on. Now, what are some of the things that they're looking for, and how do we make, I mean, how do you make the South Asian community healthier and fitter? Like, what do we need to do? What do we need to inspire? What are the things that you're seeing right now?
I think a huge thing when it comes to nutrition is not eliminating our food. That's a huge part of our culture. Why should we eliminate it? There's so much, so many nutrients in South Asian food. At the end of the day, it's how you cook it, how you balance your macros out throughout the day, and you're not just eating all carbs, right? You're learning to prioritize protein, which South Asians lack quite a bit. They just eat their carbs. And I think just educating them to understand why protein is important, and letting them know it's not just, I'm going to get all bulky and big with protein. It's like, no, beans, lentils, tofu, they all have protein. They're not going to get you all, bulky and jacked. I think it's explaining and educating them, okay, why is this important? I think the why is always missing. People want quick fixes. Oh, I just want to lose weight. But I'll always ask them, why do you want to lose weight? What's going on with family? Do you have any family history of like, diseases, diabetes, heart disease, whatever it may be? And getting them to understand why this is important for like the rest of their life. And then letting them know you don't have to ditch your cultural food. Let's understand how to incorporate that and still lose the weight. Because a lot of the times I've seen in South Asians with my parents, with other family members, oh, I'm going to go on the soup diet for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, you lost all that water weight. You're starving. You're dizzy. That is not going to help you for the long run. I'm like, this is a temporary quick fix where you lost all this water and then you gain it all back, right? I think in our community, it's so important to understand that it takes time. If you've been a certain way for 15, 20, 30 years, you're not going to see those results in 2 weeks. Results will not happen overnight. If you've been that way for a long time, You're looking at working with someone on your fitness journey for a year, for 2 years, whatever it may be, to really, really start to see those results where they become permanent. Sorry, I kind of like just
No,
went
this is
off on
great.
my spiel. May have even missed your question. But yeah, that's a little gist of how I speak with my clients and just really getting them to understand why this is important.
So a lot of your clients might have this might be a whole new thing for them, fitness and health, just figuring out a new diet plan, figuring out a whole workout plan. What are some of the challenges that you see that they are having because you're trying to develop a whole new habit, a whole new pattern, lifestyle? I mean, I know when you work with them, it's not a 6 week fix. Like you're not selling any 21-day fixes, 6 weeks. You're like, how do I change your lifestyle? How do I make this a part of you? And then hopefully you teach them everything and they can go off and live a great life, pass that knowledge on to somebody else. So
Yeah.
really, what are you really focusing on? Like, what are the challenges they have in terms of their habit building?
I think trying to do everything at once can be so overwhelming and restricting yourself. So it's kind of like a focus on habit stacking. Like I let my clients know, listen, I don't want perfection. This first month is literally you getting to know your body, starting to build a new routine. If you've been waking up at a certain time, let's wake up 10 minutes before your normal time. Once that gets easier, then you can wake up 20 minutes before that time, just slowly building upon that. And if they've never worked out before, I just get them to start with, let's say, walking. I'm like, can we walk every single day? Like, that's it. That is all we're going to start with. Once you start to do that, your endurance builds, your confidence builds. And then it's like, okay, now we need to get into some body weight or band workouts. Can we start to get into that? It could be at home, it could be at the gym. If they're intimidated by the gym, let's just start at home. Why not, right? Anyone, you can work out anywhere. You don't have to go to a fancy gym all the time. So I get them to start at home. I had so many clients that worked out, obviously during COVID at home, and they saw incredible results. That's where they learned how to work out, and that builds their confidence. And once they're ready to go to the gym, then it's like, okay, let's take that next step. Let's go to the gym so you can lift heavier. You can try new machines. Machines are great, especially for like, injury prevention. Like you get that support from machines because not everyone is going to be able to master like, barbells and dumbbells on their own. And then with food, giving them variety, so important. And I always ask my clients, do you want complex meals? Do you want simple meals? What are we looking at? And then I'll incorporate the cultural food in there too. So they at least have something for dinner and lunch that they can look forward to. So it's foods that are already their favorite foods, but now we've just adjusted the macros and the calories and created more balance. So it doesn't feel like a diet. Because bodybuilding diets back in the day, right? Like, let's just eat chicken and rice all
Yeah,
day,
chicken
6 times a day,
broccoli,
or
chicken
chicken and
broccoli and rice.
asparagus. Yeah. But now they see, oh my God, I can have chana masala. I'm like, yes. Oh, I can have dal and roti. I'm like, yes, you can. Now let's just work on the portions.
Okay, let's break that down real quick. So give me an example of chana masala or dal roti. Like what does a macro portion balance look like for you? Just an estimate.
It depends on the client, right? Like it depends on the client, their age, their height, their weight, their goals. So, a dinner meal could be 500 something calories. It could be 600 something calories. You got your roti, you got your dal, you got your dahi, right? You got your yogurt and you got your vegetables. That's a lot. That's what we miss a lot of like the vegetable part. So most of these households eat that, right? Even you can add in some like oil on top of like the roti. It could be one roti, it could be two rotis, again, depending on what their goals are. And making sure to fill up on like the lentils, the dal, you get your protein from that. And then from the yogurt, you get your protein from there as well. So again, for macros, it'll totally just depend on the person. The way that I set it up in like the platform, like the app that I use, it'll just break down the calories. And if someone tells me I only eat 3 times a day, if their meals are gonna be at least like 700 calories each. I don't believe in giving someone a 1,200 calorie diet. That's not it. And we also do flexible calorie tracking. So a lot of my clients, when they go out, they know that every single weekend they're going to be going out, whether it's once a week or whether it's twice a week. Those weekend calories will be higher than their weekday calories. Weekday, they're so busy Monday to Friday, they just want meal prep, go, 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 go. And then when it comes to the weekends, you have extra calories and extra wiggle room to work with, which I think is awesome because I do it myself. It's like, okay, if I know I'm going to be super busy these next 2 days at events and functions, let me just like balance my calories out for the week.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of that. So two things. One, it's setting the macros properly so you can enjoy the foods that you want. Now, if you're having dane, you're having your dal, you look at it like what part is that carb and protein, then maybe you need to add some fat in there, but okay, we need some more veggies, get your micronutrients, and then okay, maybe you need to add more protein or a little bit more carb. Big proponent of that. And you can
Yeah.
really just break it down and switch it out because that could be Indian food, it could be Mexican food, Mediterranean, anything, but you're almost finding a formula that works for you. And then in terms of going and eating out and being flexible dieting, that is so, so important. I run that for myself as well, where it's like an 80-20 lifestyle. And I'm curious to know your thought on this because when I'm trying to, when I program for clients and I'm trying to get them in shape, I say, hey, we want to get you to an 80-20 lifestyle. 80% of the time, you're pretty strict on yourself. You're going to the gym, you're eating well, but 20% of the time, you're enjoying life. You can have your drink, you can go have your dessert, you can go eat out. But really, to get there, the faster way to do it is a 90-10. Go 90% strict, 10% lenient, and even really like 95-5, but those are not sustainable. So you could do it for a little bit and then bring yourself down to 80-20. Do you recommend 80-20? Do you have a different, format for that? Where are you at?
I just focus on macro tracking. So I let clients know, if you're someone that has cravings and you're, always reaching for these things, it's because you're restricting yourself. If you're having a moment on a Wednesday and you're like, man, I really want a cookie, I'm like, have that cookie, put it into your macros. That's it. I'm like, you don't need to feel restricted, but I do want my clients to focus on, like the whole foods, getting their micronutrients. And I do tell my clients that a lot. Like, okay, let's have a balance. I don't want you fitting alcohol into your macros every single day because that's going to be an issue, right? You're not eating cookies 7 times a week. I mean, some people can depending on their goals. So, if their goal is like weight loss, it's like, okay, let's have a little bit more balance here throughout the week. And there's healthier options of desserts that you can make, and it still fits your macros. So I'm a huge person on that. Like, if you fit your macros, you send me your weekly update and you followed your macros. At the end of the day, I don't care if you had, a couple cookies in the week. That doesn't matter at all. At the end of the day, you want to do what's best for you. And clients eventually actually learn a lot about their digestion, which is something I ask my clients every single week. How's your digestion? If it was off, why was it off? What did you eat beforehand? So they will actually start to learn more about their bodies. Based off of that, they'll type it up and assess, okay, you know what? Oh my God, I had, a huge poutine on Sunday and I feel so gross now. I'm probably not going to do that again. So I let them learn on their own to see what gives you energy from food. But of course, if it's like Christmas and you have like some drinks and you're a little hungover the next day, we're all human. It's okay.
Yeah, this is what I love about your coaching is you're very realistic on what the lifestyle is for people. And I mean, for me, I'm a cookie monster, and without cookies, I'm just a monster. So it's one of those things like I need my cookies
Yeah.
every other day, all the time, or some sort of chocolate. And I curb it with try to get chocolate in my protein shakes or try to have cookies. I don't know, not too much, but it does play a role in there. And I really like that you focus on digestion. That is a huge, huge proponent of health in terms of your nutrition and whether your client, you can't just tell them to eat something and based on macros, you really need to understand where they're going. So I'm glad that you focus on that.
Yeah.
I want to spin it. Let's dive deep into the South Asian culture. So I really want to focus on South Asian women because you are a role model for a lot of them out there. And, you know, how do you how do you get to where you are today, where you're focusing on fitness, nutrition? A lot of women can or have that passion as well, but maybe they don't understand how to start this business. Maybe they're not as entrepreneurial or a little nervous about it, or maybe their stereotype is, why should South Asian women be in the fitness and health industry? And hey, you're too skinny, and then you gain a little bit of weight. Hey, now you're too fat. And there's a lot of pressure on South Asian women on what their body types are like. And that's something that needs to change. And I want people to be more focused on who they are as a person and just being healthier in whatever shape or size they may be. So, what are your thoughts on that? How do you promote and just educate people based on their lifestyle, the way they look, and to avoid any of the stereotypes, the naysayers, specifically for the South Asian woman?
It's huge for South Asian women. Like, I mean, look at Bollywood movies too. For so many years, right? And even like modeling industry, advertisements, magazines, like women for so many years have been told to be thin, 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 thin. You put on muscle, and then in the community, because South Asian community before, they were not used to it. They were just, oh my God, like, why does she have muscle? That's for men, because they weren't educated. And I think for so many years, women were just like, okay, like housewives, taking care of the kids, and they would put their health and fitness on the back burner because they had all these like duties to like perform and take care of the family, which is fine. But at the end of the day, you really need to look inwards and be like, if I'm not healthy and if I'm not strong, how am I going to take care of anyone else? If I can't take care of me, how will I, in the long run, take care of everyone else in this family? Um, and I think, like, my focus personally as a fitness coach is helping women get stronger and healthier. I'm not necessarily a fat loss coach. I'm not necessarily just like a muscle building coach. I want to help women get stronger and healthier because that spills into the rest of their life, in all areas of their life. I've experienced it. So many of my female clients have experienced it. When you start to work out and you start to take care of yourself, your mental health gets better. You're more confident. You're stronger in your day-to-day activities, grocery, putting boxes away, picking up furniture. You don't have to rely on a man to like help you out with those things, and you feel so empowered. I think that's why with my clients is such a huge focus. It's like, okay, let's get you energetic. Let's get you eating enough food, because a lot of women will undereat and then binging on the weekends, right? Because it's just this like vicious like cycle. And being told for so long, oh, you need to lose weight, you need to get skinny. It's gonna take time, obviously, as someone that's been hearing it for so many years, to put that away. I was told I was too muscular. I look like a guy. I shouldn't be allowed to do bodybuilding stuff. No one's gonna marry me because I'm like too jacked and all of these things. And I was just like, I do not care what you say, because I'm a stubborn person. And I think that's what helped me get through all of that madness. Like back in the day when people were talking, I'm stubborn because I was like, I'm not doing drugs. I'm not out right now, like late night. I'm not doing, like bad things like out there on the streets. I'm like, I'm literally taking care of myself. This is helping me become stronger, more confident as a person and healthier. So why won't I keep doing it? And that's why I push with my stubbornness. And now I try to help women see that we can break those stereotypes. Like, those are just created by like men. They've been created by a lot of men, these societal norms. I'm like, why should a guy tell us how our bodies should look like? And when it comes to the health aspect, there's so many things that run in South Asian families, right? When it comes to health conditions.
Oh yeah.
So understanding that what you eat and how you move your body is going to help you to be proactive and, try as best as you can to prevent and minimize the risks of those health conditions. This is why we focus on getting stronger and healthier. So I don't know if that answered your question. I know it
Oh
went in
yeah.
like a whole
I
little
think
whole little loop.
I had like five parts in my question, anyways. So that was
I'm a
that was
talker.
no. This is good. This is exactly like what we need to hear, right? Yes, it's a lot on men putting this influence on women on how they should look, and or at least in the past, and that can change, or it should change. There's the stereotypes of, yeah, you're right. Like in the older generations, like the women will cook and clean and take care of the family. Why do you need to go to the gym? You know, and that's changing
Hmm.
now. A lot more empowerment on women taking control of their lives. Now, I'm curious to know, with some of the clients you've worked with or something that you've seen, what are some of the challenges that women have, especially South Asian, in this focus? Is it something where they're, one, lack of knowledge? That maybe that's what it, they come to you for a reason. What is it? One, lack of knowledge. two, they have some health concerns, or three, do they have low confidence or just kind of confused on what to do? And how do you help them to empower them so that they can take this on their own and become the best versions of themselves?
So there's multiple reasons why South Asian women reach out to me. Confidence is huge. That one is one of the biggest things is I want to feel good when I put on my clothes. I want to feel good when I take pictures. That is huge. Not even just South Asian women, other women as well. That is like one of the biggest reasons why people reach out. And it's because they don't know what to do. They don't know where to start. They have tried random Instagram like workouts at the gym. They haven't focus on progressive overload, which is when you focus on a program for like a certain amount of weeks and you're trying to get stronger or better with your range of motion technique, et cetera, right? So doing all these like random things, trying all these random diets. When they come to me and they tell me all these things, I'm like, we need to create sustainable habits. We need to create a sustainable lifestyle. No quick fixes here with me. I'm like, progress is going to be slow and steady because this is actually going to be progress you'll keep for the long run. If you're investing now with your money and your time in this coaching, you're going to keep the results. I don't want someone to come and be like, oh, I need to get shredded in 6 weeks. I honestly reject clients when they ask that. And like the lack of knowledge, I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they say like I want to build my confidence, I want to feel better, my mental health. That's a huge one as well. When people reach out to me, like I just don't feel good about myself, and so many of these are connected. But once we start, like, okay, let's start small, let's start changing small things, and let's focus on habit stacking so this becomes a part of your day, a part of your lifestyle, not take over your life. I think that's so important to understand. Fitness is a part of your lifestyle, it is not your whole lifestyle. And I think when people get so consumed in it, that's where it becomes hard to, get to the results, and they focus too much on results instead of taking action. It's like, let's just focus on today. That's it. When you see the big picture, so many women get scared. They're like, oh my God, I need to lose this much weight by June. I'm like, okay, sure, we have this like marker, but instead of focusing on that, I want you to focus on what you're going to achieve today and how you're feeling today. I want you to focus on lifting heavier in the gym. I want you to focus on getting faster. Challenge yourself in the gym because you'll have fun with it. And then everything else is a positive side effect. So that's kind of how I work with clients.
Yeah, and you're creating an athlete out of them. You're pushing them progressive overload. How do you push a little bit more on the strength? And you're making sure they're safe. I know you watch their form. I know you're very keen on that and you know what you're doing when you're programming. And then you're also saying, all right, we need to push a little faster. Well, if you do that over a time period, really what's happening is these people are developing into a better athlete. They become stronger, they become fitter, their metabolism start working for them, they get kind of in that rhythm, and which goes back to your point of habit stacking. Like the gym becomes something where they never went to become their daily routine.
Yeah.
It's like brushing your teeth, you're always there. And I think that's super important to really preach. And then also you're just empowering them and also supporting them at the same time. And you've helped like countless people. um, it's awesome. Love what you're doing there, and I think you have a huge following, or a bright future to go with it. And I think there's a lot more women and men that can learn something from you. And I want to touch base on some of the badass things that you've done recently. And let's talk about this Canada's Ultimate Challenge. For those who don't know, or actually, you can probably tell me a little bit more about it, but like from the U.S. side, it's more like it's like a fitness challenge, adventure, survivor. I don't know, it's a combination of everything. Tell me about that whole story. What was the experience like, and what was some of the lessons you learned?
It was wild. It was, that's probably the most I've ever pushed my body physically. And I would say, like, even mentally, when you're, I don't even know how far up on a bridge over a fast flowing river. And this bridge has gaps in between the slates you step on. It's wobbly. You have to carry sandbags across from one side to the other as fast as you can with your team. I literally, because I'm a light person, I'm petite. So because it was so windy, I literally hooked my arm onto the metal wire just so I wouldn't fall. And I just kept going back and forth with it where my skin was messed. I still have a bruise. It turned purple and red and bloody because I'm just crazily competitive sometimes. That's my problem. And climbing 110 feet of rope using mostly upper body strength, that was the hardest thing I had ever had to do. I was so fatigued. I'm pretty sure I got like blackout at one point, and then I flipped in the air. Wild. Pulling a plane with 4 petite team members. That was also crazy. I was in the ambulance tent after, it was so hot that day, so dehydrated, literally used every ounce of energy. My legs stopped working. I've never experienced that in my life. My legs actually stopped working. So when I went back to hit the buzzer thing, my legs just gave out and I just fell. Like I fell completely right over because they were not working. It's crazy. It was an
Yeah,
experience though. It was
people,
fun.
you can watch this. This is all, you have some episodes on it. It's all posted on your Instagram. I believe you can link towards it. Um, I've watched some of it. It's definitely entertaining and it's fun to watch. I wish I could see all of it. I want to see you kind of fail a little bit or just fall down, but
Oh yeah.
that's
That, there's lots of failures there. It's so interesting to be in the show as opposed to watching it, because so many times we'll watch something on Netflix, you're like, why won't she do that? Come on, go faster, go this, go that. When you're in the moment, you don't think, you just do. You don't think, you do, and it's so much harder than you think. You've been on set all day and people don't realize it takes hours and hours to set up things, to start filming. Competition wise, it's fully just filmed live, right? But the lead up to it, you're out in the heat, you're waiting for the cameraman, production, all of that. There's so many little bits and pieces. And then it's like, okay, now it's time to compete. And you're like, oh my God, I'm already so tired.
it's great. I mean, you got to challenge yourself in certain ways, right? And that's a great way to do it. Now, what's next for you? Where are you going? Do you have any crazy Canada Ultimate Challenge #2? Is it what else is coming down the road? Um, you know, share what's going on.
No other crazy Canada Ultimate Challenge. I think I need to give my body a break. I've been struggling with my back. Sometimes it makes me wonder if that show had anything to do with it, because I'm a little wild and I throw my body on the line. My coach also said that before too. So I'm going to take a break to just heal, to get better myself. 6 months this year, I almost did, like I basically didn't work out for 5 to 6 months this year. That's quite a bit. We're not even at the end of the year yet. So now I'm just focusing on my own health as well. I have a tendency to put everybody else first and my work first and my clients first. And then sometimes I forget about the me time. So this year I've been trying to focus on that, because I got to practice what I preach, right? I got to take care of everyone else, but I also got to take care of me. So I've been spending more time in that. And next year, yeah, I just want my health to get better in terms of like being able to like work out fully. And I want to get back to sprinting. I miss sprinting a lot, especially at Barry's. I always itch. I teach classes. I get so pumped up and fired up. And I'm like, damn, I want to sprint. I want to be up there. But I know I have to be patient with that and just working on my business, growing the business and getting more clients like worldwide, and hopefully just getting the message across from social media, letting people know that I am here to help. So if they're looking for someone that is in their community, in the South Asian community, I understand. I understand because, I come from that background and I've grown up with the cultural food and I still enjoy it. And yeah, those are my plans. Nothing too crazy. How about you?
Well, well, first before me, I mean, you're doing some big things, and where, like, I guess not even that, but I just want to know what's the mission on this whole business? Like, what in 5 years from now, what's the dream outcome look like for you?
A lot of people will talk about the 5 year and the 10-year plan. I'm kind of not that person. I so I have ADHD. Like I actually have ADHD, diagnosed with it. Um for me personally, I get overwhelmed if I think something, in like 5, 10 years, like, oh my God, like what's my plan? I have a vision board though. And I like to set yearly goals as opposed to like 5 or like 10 years. Um I set financial goals with my key account manager, like, okay, in 2024, this is what I want to hit financially. This is what I want to hit for clients per month. But in 5 years, I do see myself having more global clients, and I'm hoping that the business has grown where I can hire someone else as well. So I can hire another coach, hopefully another South Asian coach. And I really, really hope to see a lot of like South Asian like women just crushing it, which I have been seeing. I swear, after COVID hit, before I had barely seen any South Asian women in the fitness industry. And now when I open TikTok, Instagram, it makes me so happy
It's
to see
awesome.
how many more have gotten out there. They're posting about it. And yeah, since COVID, I've really seen it grow. So in 5 years, I know it's gonna grow even more. And I hope that, I get the opportunity to work with some badass South Asian women in terms of the business side.
Yeah, there's a lot more coming, and it's great to see. And I think they see role models like yourself that inspires them to do this. And a lot of them are doing that as a side hustle that turns into something bigger. And that's what we
Yeah.
need more of. We need more of it because it's the whole cultural impact on how to get us out of this negative health trend that our whole culture is going down. And so as the whole new generation comes up, or current generations really focus on this, it's extremely helpful. And that's what me and you can really help with and just kind of educate people in terms of health and fitness. Um, go back to your question about me for this year. It's big on, I had some health issues going on and I learned a lot about it. But now it's trying to get the body back and get back into some CrossFit competitions along with some open water swimming. So I'm looking at those and just building this out to really get the knowledge base out to people and teach them, hey, it's okay if you're South Asian, no matter where you are in your fitness journey, let me see if I can help you or connect you with somebody that can help you. And, I've passed over some people to
Yeah.
you and just to say like, hey, if you're in Toronto and you need a trainer or even not, or if you just resonate with D, here, I can connect you in that way. So let's wrap this up. It's been a great time talking to you, but where can people find you and what's the easiest way? How can they connect with you?
So Instagram is my most used social media platform. So at D_little_tank. The best way to communicate if you have any questions about coaching is to click the link in my bio. That's going to lead you to my website and you can fill out the form. And that is where I'll contact you, send you a message and set up a call with you to chat more about the coaching. DMs get lost. There are so many random DMs, creepy DMs, other DMs. Now there's apparently another section that says hidden requests. I didn't even know that there was a hidden request
Oh
section up
yeah.
until like a few weeks ago, and there's been inquiries in the hidden requests, but it says hidden requests are flagged. I'm like, well, that's interesting. So the best way possible, hit the link in my bio or email me. That is the best way that we'll communicate when it comes to coaching. Otherwise, I try to get to DMs as best as I can.
Love it. I'll make sure we post all that and get everybody connected to you for those who want to. And follow this girl on Instagram, see her journey. It's awesome. Dill, thank you
Oh,
so
and
much for taking your time.
one
Yeah.
thing I wanted to share quickly is this was a passion project during COVID on YouTube. I haven't posted in a really, really long time, but I actually created some Punjabi how-to videos for exercises. So if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
someone that doesn't know how to exercise, you want to start at home, you don't speak English so well, watch those videos. It was very heartwarming to get messages literally from like Australia, UK to be like, my parents watch your videos and it helps. So it was just a random passion
Do more.
project. Hopefully,
Do
I
more.
have time
Yeah.
to get back into it. I'd love to, but yeah, so you can find Little Tank Fitness on YouTube as well for those Punjabi videos.
Real quick, where does the name Little Tank Fitness come from?
So, okay, Little Tank was a name that one of my friends gave me years and years ago when I created Instagram. Standing there, I'm like, what should I have as my handle? He's like, you're such a little tank. Because I used to leg press like 700 pounds almost, 600 something, 700 pounds, 4 or 5 plates on like a squat machine. And I was like 115 pounds. So that's where
Jeez.
the name Little Tank came from. And I put it into Little Tank Fitness because I feel If you truly believe in yourself, everyone has that little tank in them. You're so much stronger than you think. So I want, others to realize that as well. Like, you're so much stronger than you think. Everyone has that unleashed strength inside them. So let's discover it together.
Love it. There it is. Dil, thank you so much. This has been awesome.
Thank you so
And we'll
much.
do it again sometime.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Cool.